Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're exploring a world where honor, power, hidden agendas, they really define survival. We're diving into Wander's Ordeal, the evil resisting sword art, specifically Chapter 2. And trust me, there are some, well, pretty surprising turns ahead.
Absolutely. And our mission really is to pull out those vital threads for you from this really rich narrative. We want to help you understand the motivations, what's driving these characters, the complex power plays between the factions, and what really makes this whole martial arts society tick.
Right.
It's about much more than just the action. It's getting to the why behind it all.
Okay, so let's jump right in. We meet our protagonist, Lin Pingzi, and he's in an absolutely terrible spot. I mean, captured.
Yeah.
His pressure points are sealed, basically immobilized, and he's facing this horrific fate, becoming an invalid.
It's brutal.
But right away, you see his resolve. It's fierce. He'd rather die fighting than suffer that kind of pain. And just when you think, okay, this is it for him, this really unexpected rescue happens. An ugly, wine-selling girl and an old man.
And what's really striking here, I think, is how quickly that escape, that moment of freedom, it becomes less about just being physically free.
Right.
And more the start of this really profound internal journey for Lin Pingzi. His immediate reactions, the deep worry for his parents, the frustration about his sealed pressure points.
The powerlessness.
Exactly. Even that regret for his earlier, maybe kind of naive, heroic actions. They're not just physical responses. They force him to confront a whole different kind of honor, a different kind of resilience than he's ever known before.
That's a really great point. His challenges, they absolutely don't end when he escapes. He's physically battered from the fall. He's got no money.
Nothing.
And he desperately needs to disappear. We see him having to take clothes from the dead restaurant owners. It's pretty gruesome.
It is.
He has to overcome his revulsion, the stench. And he makes this internal vow. He'll endure any humiliation, whatever it takes to rescue his parents, restore the family honor.
And that vow is key.
Then there's that encounter, you mentioned it earlier, with the farmer's wife and the cow dung. It's almost comical, but he thinks to be humiliated by a farmer's wife is really nothing. It's a huge shift in perspective, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And if you think about the values he grew up with, the Fortune Prestige escort house, this struggle really highlights them. Even starving, he wrestles with himself about stealing fruit. He clings to that principle. I would rather beg than steal from others.
Wow.
It shows that even at rock bottom, that code of honor, the ethics he was raised with, they're still paramount. He's not just surviving. He's fighting to keep hold of who he is.
So while Lin Pingzi is grappling with all this personal humiliation, what he finds out next, it reveals that his family's tragedy is just like one part of a much bigger and honestly far more ruthless plan by the Qingcheng sword school.
Yeah, the scale widens considerably.
Yeah. His journey takes him to the escort house branches. First, Nankang just burned to the ground. Total devastation.
Juan.
Then he gets to the Hunan branch, and the signs of desecration there, they're so personal, so deliberate. The escort house sign hung upside down.
A direct insult.
And maybe most shocking, ripped, flower-patterned women's pants fluttering from the flagpole. What are they even trying to say with these visuals?
Well, these aren't just random acts of vandalism. They are very deliberate, symbolic attacks on the Fortune Prestige escort house's face, their reputation.
Right. The face.
In the martial world, that's everything. Hanging the sign upside down, the women's pants, they're clear, visceral acts of defamation, designed to utterly disgrace them. It's psychological warfare, really, meant to break their spirit and ruin their standing.
And it gets even deeper, doesn't it? Lin Pingji manages to eavesdrop on two Qingcheng disciples, Shen and Ji. And their conversation is just chillingly cynical. They're openly discussing their awful acts, bragging about tarnishing the escort house's name.
No remorse.
None. But then, the real ticker, Lin Pingji finds stolen jade horses, bags of gold, jewels, hidden inside a coffin within the escort house itself. So this wasn't just about revenge or reputation.
No, it was looting. Systematic looting.
Why go to such lengths? What was the Qingcheng's actual goal here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the source makes it pretty clear. This level of brutality, it wasn't impulsive.
Right.
It screams long-term planning, simultaneous attacks on all the Fortune Prestige branches. This points towards greed, a raw desire for power, not just simple retribution. We even find out Master Yukong Hai himself, the Qingcheng leader, was directly involved in the Fuzhou attack. It's a calculated, widespread assault with a hidden agenda.
And speaking of hidden agendas, during that eavesdropping, Lin Pingji overhears them talking about the evil-resisting sword art.
Ah, yes.
And its connection to his own Lin family's skills. This really starts to hint at something much deeper, a more profound motive behind everything Qingcheng is doing, suggests they're after something way more valuable than just gold.
Definitely. That's a crucial piece of foreshadowing.
Okay, let's circle back to the rescuers. The ugly wine-selling girl and the old man.
Right. The mysterious pair.
We find out they're actually apprentices from the Huashan sword school. The old man is Lao Denuo, the second apprentice brother, and the girl is his little apprentice sister.
So, not just random bystanders.
Not at all. They weren't just passing through. Lao Denuo was actually on a mission to mount Qingcheng. He had to deliver an apology letter from his master to Master Yu.
An apology? Why?
Well, it stemmed from their big apprentice brother, implicitly Ling Huchang, who'd apparently kicked down two of Qingcheng's four aces in a winehouse brawl previously.
Ah, so smoothing things over. This really highlights the hidden sort of diplomatic chess game going on in the martial world, doesn't it?
It really does.
Lao Denuo's master specifically picked him for this mission because of his ability to hold anger, to stay calm even when provoked, like being made to wait 6 days at Qingcheng or putting up with ridicule from Hong Rengsheng.
Wow, 6 days.
Yeah. It's a subtle but powerful example of the kind of strategic thinking, the diplomatic skill that's essential even when there are feuds brewing. It's not always about brute strength.
And while he was there, waiting, Lao Denuo's observations at Pinewind Temple, they were pretty eye-opening.
What did he see?
He saw dozens of Qingcheng apprentices practicing this new, unfamiliar sword technique, and they were doing it quite, well, awkwardly, stiffly.
Interesting.
His suspicion was immediate. Why are so many guys learning the same new moves all at once, and why do they look so bad doing it?
And that's where his logic kicks in, right? He starts piecing it together.
Exactly.
He figured these couldn't be new moves Master Yu just invented, nor something typically acquired and taught only to a select few disciples.
Too many people involved.
Right. The sheer number learning it and their awkwardness.
Yeah.
It pointed to something specific, and later his own master confirms it. It was the evil-resisting sword art of the Lin family.
Boom! There it is.
A massive revelation. It confirms Qingcheng's true long-term goal. They're obsessed with getting their hands on that secret art.
And Master Yukong Hai, being who he is, couldn't resist a little show of power when he finally met Lao Denuo, effortlessly lifts him up,
Just like that.
and then makes this, like, seemingly offhand comment, 3 years more, 3 years more.
Ominous.
Lao Denuo naturally took it as a slight, a jab at his own skill and his big apprentice brother's skill.
Of course.
It just shows how every word, every gesture can carry so much weight in this world, you know?
Absolutely. And it reinforces that idea of judging people by actions, not titles, and the importance of discretion.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. We move to a really major event that's brewing in the martial world, the Gold Basin hand-washing ceremony.
Ah, yes. Master Lu Xingfeng's retirement.
Exactly. Of the Hengshan Sword School, this is a big deal, a highly public, very significant retirement ritual that's drawing important figures from all over.
Everyone who's anyone would be there, or at least interested.
But the tea shop gossip, it quickly spills the beans on the real, kind of scandalous reason behind Master Lu's retirement.
Oh. Not just wanting a quiet life.
Apparently not. It seems he's doing it to avoid conflict within his own school, his wind-twirling, geese-falling sword skill.
The one that could pierce 5 geese.
That's the one. It had actually surpassed the skill of the headmaster, Great Mr. Mo, who could only manage 3 geese.
Wow. So he was becoming too good for the headmaster's comfort.
Seems like it, and retiring was the way to keep the peace.
That scenario really speaks volumes about power dynamics and face in the martial world, doesn't it?
It really does.
Here's this powerful master, clearly at his peak, choosing to step down, not because he's old or weak, but to preserve harmony, balance within his own school.
It's quite a sacrifice.
It is. It shows how personal ambition sometimes gets sidelined for the group's stability, and just how delicate that power balance can be, even within the same faction.
And then things take another dramatic turn. Almost out of nowhere, this haggard old Hukin player shows up.
The musician.
Yeah, initially everyone just dismisses him as a begging performer. Nobody pays him much mind.
Underestimating him. A classic theme.
Totally. But then it gets absolutely incredible. He gets provoked by this short, fat guy making disrespectful comments about great Mr. Mo.
Defending the headmaster's honor.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
this old musician subtly reveals who he is in his astonishing skill. He slices 7 teacups cleanly with a sword hidden inside his hupin.
Without even moving the cup.
Without moving the cups an inch. It's just breathtaking. Precision, hidden power, the works.
That's right. Because this isn't just any old musician. He is Knight Rain of Yaxiang, great Mr. Mo,
The headmaster himself.
the actual headmaster of the Hengsheng Sword School. His musical connection, his nickname, they're part of his identity. And his actions here just profoundly emphasize that depth of hidden power we keep seeing.
Right.
It perfectly illustrates that old saying, there is always someone stronger than the strong. True masters are often right there in plain sight, completely underestimated.
And witnessing this, great Mr. Mo's subtle yet immense power, it hits Lin Pingzi hard. It leads to this profound realization for him.
How so?
He'd always had this kind of limited view of Kung Fu. He thought his father's skill was basically the peak.
Understandable from his perspective.
But this moment just shatters that illusion. It opens his eyes to the true vastness of the martial world's abilities. There are levels he never dreamed of.
A humbling moment.
Incredibly humbling. But this new understanding, it also leaves him crushed with despair. He realizes the person who just demonstrated this incredible power is the headmaster of Hengshan.
An ally of Qingcheng, potentially, or at least someone unlikely to oppose them for his sake.
Exactly. It deepens his sense of isolation. Where can he possibly turn for help now?
Yeah, that's a low point for him.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we've really peeled back quite a few layers of this fascinating world, haven't we?
We definitely have.
We've journeyed with Lin Pingzi through his really harrowing personal ordeal, seeing his remarkable growth forged through humiliation and pain. We've uncovered the calculating villainy, the secret ambitions of the Qingcheng sword school, their ruthless pursuit of power, and that legendary sword art going way beyond simple revenge.
Right, the greed and the obsession.
And we've caught glimpses of the complex internal politics, the hidden depths of the martial world itself, through the subtle diplomacy of Huangshan and those surprising power plays within Hengshan.
Yeah, this deep dive really underlines how power in this world. It isn't just about who hits hardest.
Not at all.
It's about cunning. It's about reputation. And the face we talked about is about political maneuvering. And as we saw with Great Mr. Mo, it's about the surprising ability of true masters to stay hidden in plain sight, totally underestimated.
A world where honor is both a shield and a vulnerability.
Precisely. And where appearances can be incredibly deceiving.
So, as you think about all this, here's something to consider. In a world where hidden powers and, well, deceptive appearances are pretty much the norm, how do you figure out what's true strength, what's genuine intent, and what does it really take to restore a reputation once it's been tarnished?